Loyalty, 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 what a beautiful little chain they've wrapped around your neck. They polish it, call it gold and whisper that it makes you noble. And you smile, you nod, you wear it proudly like a dog showing off its collar. They clap, they cheer, they say, "Look, what a loyal creature!" And you believe it means strength. But tell me, has loyalty ever fed you? Has loyalty ever made you untouchable? Or has it only kept you kneeling, waiting, wasting, while someone else eats the feast you cook? They tell you loyalty builds trust. No, loyalty builds cages. Invisible ones, sweet, smelling ones. Cages you'll decorate with memories and promises until you forget it's a prison at all. Think about it, the friend you stood by who left you, the job you gave your years to, only to be replaced. The cause you bowed for that turned on you the second you questioned it. Loyalty doesn't protect you. It blinds you. It keeps you chained to sinking ships because you soar an oath on calm waters. And when the storm comes, the ship doesn't care how faithful you are. It drags you down anyway. You see, loyalty is just another trick, a leash disguised as virtue. They want you loyal so they can be free. They want you loyal so they can betray first. They want you loyal because loyalty makes you predictable. And predictable people, they're the easiest to destroy. So let me ask you, how long will you wear that collar? How long will you worship a virtue that kills your ambition, strangles your success, and feeds everyone but you? Break the leash, or die noble, forgotten and loyal. Loyalty to people, sweet, sticky, sentimental poison. They tell you it's the highest virtue, the golden glue of friendship, family, brotherhood, love. They wrap it up with ribbons and parade it through songs, stories, and solemn vows. Stand by your friends, honor your family, be faithful to your mentor. How noble, how touching, how utterly destructive. Because here's the truth, when you chain yourself to people, you chain yourself to their limits. Their fears become your ceiling. Their mistakes become your detours. Their smallness becomes your prison. And you bright, burning, ambitious you, dim your fire so they can sit comfortably in its shadow. They'll tell you loyalty is about trust. No. Loyalty is about control. The moment you declare undying loyalty to a person, you hand them the keys to your time, your energy, your choices. You become predictable, safe, domesticated. They know you'll never walk away, no matter how heavy they lean, no matter how much they take, and they will take. People always take. Picture it, the friend who drinks your hours, who drowns you in their problems, but vanishes when you call. The sibling who mocks your ambition but expects your support. The mentor who teaches you, then keeps you small so you'll never outshine them. You remain loyal. Why? Because you swore some silent oath when you were young, naive, desperate to belong. That oath becomes your chain. Do you know what they call loyalty to people? They call it being there. Being there for birthdays, for breakups, for crises, for endless cycles of drama. But while you're busy being there, where are you? Stuck, still, stagnant, sacrificing your own climb so they can drag you sideways. The loyal friend is always available. The loyal sibling is always selfless. The loyal student never questions. And all the while, success laughs as it passes you by. The cruelest part, they don't even respect you for it. People rarely admire loyalty. They expect it. They demand it. They consume it. But respect, admiration, that's reserved for the ones who betray them, who walk away, who rise above. The friend who leaves to chase a dream is remembered with awe. The loyal one who stayed behind, forgotten, invisible, a background character in someone else's story. You think loyalty protects relationships. How? No, loyalty rots them. True connection doesn't need shackles. If someone must demand your loyalty, they already know they don't deserve your freedom, and yet you keep handing it over. Why? Because it feels safe. Because the word betrayal terrifies you more than the word failure. Because you think being called disloyal is worse than being forgotten. How pathetic. Here's a secret: betrayal is not always cruelty. Sometimes betrayal is evolution. Outgrowing someone is not a crime, it's survival. Walking away from the friend who won't grow, from the family who only chains you, from the mentor who fears your wings. That is not betrayal. That is freedom. But the world will call it betrayal anyway, because they prefer you loyal and predictable. Loyalty to people kills ambition in slow, sweet doses. You stay in the same town because family needs you. You stay in the same circle because friends expect you. You bite your tongue because mentors told you to. And then one day you look in the mirror and realize your success never left you. You left it. You abandoned it in the name of loyalty. And oh, how they will reward you. Not with riches. Not with recognition, with words. Cheap, flimsy words. He was loyal. That's the inscription on your tombstone. Not was great. Not was powerful. Just loyal. A virtue for servants, for dogs, for pawns. A crown of thorns for anyone who ever dared to dream bigger than their circle allowed. Do you want to terrify people? Do you want to make them respect you even if they hate you? Then break the spell. Stop being loyal to people who chain you. Stop mistaking loyalty for love, loyalty for respect, loyalty for duty. The ones who deserve your presence will not demand your chains. The ones who demand your chains do not deserve your presence. People will call you selfish. Good. Wear it like armor. Better selfish than loyal to those who would happily sacrifice you for their comfort. Better selfish than dead inside, applauded for your obedience. Selfishness builds, loyalty bleeds. Which do you choose? Remember, this loyalty to people is the first leash they place around your neck. Break it, and you'll feel the fresh air of freedom. Keep it, and you'll never leave the kennel. The world does not remember the loyal dog. It remembers the wolf that broke away. This is the first betrayal you must embrace, the betrayal of blind loyalty to people. Betray it and you become free. Betray it and success finally notices you. Betray it and you step off the leash into the wild where you belong. Ah, the grand illusion. Company loyalty. What a beautiful little con. They give you an ID badge, a branded mug, maybe a discount at the cafeteria, and whisper, "We're family here." And you, poor soul, you beam like a child who's just been adopted. Family. No, a company is not a family. A company is a machine. And machines don't love their cogs. They replace them when they wear down. You believe your years of service matter. You believe showing up early, staying late, sacrificing weekends proves your devotion. You think that devotion will be rewarded with security, promotions, respect. How loyalty in organizations is not rewarded. It's exploited. Your loyalty is the cheapest labor they'll ever buy, because the moment you give them your faith, you stop negotiating, you stop questioning, you stop demanding more, and they keep taking. They'll tell you stories. Oh, the myths of loyal employees. They'll praise the one who stayed 30 years, retired with a gold watch and a handshake. Look closer at that story. 30 years of bending, serving, silencing ambition, only to end with a trinket and a farewell cake. That's not a life, that's a sentence. A gilded cage where the bars were labeled loyalty. And when the winds change, when profits fall, when mergers come, when shareholders demand blood, what happens to the loyal ones? Outgun, box your desk. We appreciate your service. Loyalty didn't save them. It chained them to the ship until the very moment it sank. And who climbs into the lifeboats? The bold, the disloyal, the ones who left before the water rose. Loyalty to organizations is a trap disguised as honor. They make you believe your devotion will earn protection. But organizations are not people. They feel no guilt, no gratitude, no shame. They are machines of profit. You are a gear. A useful gear, yes, but never irreplaceable. And the tragedy is the more loyal you are, the easier you are to replace. Because loyalty makes you predictable. Predictability makes you cheap. Do you want to see the truth? Watch what happens to the rebel, the one who refuses to bow. They may be hated, whispered about, branded, difficult, but they are also feared. Why? Because they cannot be controlled. They negotiate harder, demand more, leave when they're undervalued. And somehow, oh, isn't it strange, they rise higher, faster, richer. The organization cannot own them, so it must respect them. Meanwhile, the loyal employee, they become invisible, always there, never noticed, always obedient, never rewarded, always available, never valued. The company doesn't see them as heroes. It sees them as furniture, useful until outdated, then quietly removed. And here's the cruel punchline: they convince you loyalty is a ladder. Stay long enough and you'll climb higher. But in truth, loyalty is glue. It sticks you in place while bolder, more ruthless players leapfrog past you. Promotions don't go to the loyal. Promotions go to the valuable. And loyalty does not equal value, it equals compliance. Think of history. The most loyal servants are remembered only as footnotes. The bold, the traitors, the ones who abandoned kingdoms, overthrew masters, changed banners. Those are the names etched into stone. Organizations, empires, dynasties, all built on the backs of the loyal, all toppled by the disloyal. Loyalty feeds the beast. Disloyalty breaks the chain. They want you loyal because loyalty means you won't leave, you won't ask, you won't rebel. But tell me, what has loyalty ever given you that you couldn't take by force? Success does not bow to loyalty. Success bows to leverage, and loyalty kills leverage. You cannot demand better when you've already sworn you'll stay no matter what. So what must you do? Betray the machine, not with tantrums, not with reckless bridges burned, but with strategy. Be useful, yes, but never chained. Be professional, but never blind. Let them think you are loyal until the day opportunity knocks, and then walk away without looking back. Do not confuse loyalty with professionalism. One is respect for yourself, the other is slavery to them. The harshest truth. Loyalty to organizations kills not only ambition, but imagination. You begin to think inside their box, speak in their slogans, dream in their language. Your individuality rots. You are no longer you. You are employee, a name tag, a number, a cog polished smooth by routine. And the worst part, you applaud yourself for it. You confuse obedience with virtue. But step outside, betray the organization, and suddenly you see the world differently. You see that no company deserves your life. No brand deserves your blood. No job deserves your chains. You exist for more than a salary slip and an annual review. Your loyalty is not noble. It's fuel for their machine. And once the tank is empty, they will toss you aside like a drained battery. This is the second betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty to organizations. Betray the illusion that a company is your family. Betray the lie that devotion will earn protection. It won't. Success belongs to those who know when to walk away, when to demand more, when to refuse the leash. Organizations worship loyal servants while secretly sharpening the knives to cut them loose. Do not be the sacrifice they make to keep the machine running. Be the one who walks away before the blade falls. Remember this, the world doesn't reward loyalty to organizations. It rewards power, leverage, boldness. And loyalty is the quickest way to lose all three. Break the illusion. Betray the machine. Own your freedom. Ideology, the grandest leash of them all. Unlike loyalty to people or organizations, which are small cages, this one is an empire. Ideology wraps itself in banners and hymns, paints itself in sacred colors, and whispers, I am bigger than you. Serve me and you serve something eternal. And you poor creature, you kneel. You kneel gladly. You kneel proudly. You kneel, thinking you've given your life to greatness, when in truth, you've given it to an illusion. Religion, politics, movements, tribes, nations, they are all the same trick. They sell you belonging. They promise meaning. They drape you in symbols and slogans, and you wear them like armor, not realizing it's just paint on your skin. They convince you that loyalty to an ideology is noble, righteous, even holy. But look closer. Peel back the paint. You'll see the rusted machinery beneath control. Always control. Think of it, loyalty to a god, a flag, a party, a cause. You are told to sacrifice your individuality for the greater good. But the greater good is always defined by someone else. Leaders, preachers, politicians, they tell you where to march, what to chant, what to believe. Your loyalty makes you predictable. Predictability makes you obedient. And obedience makes you disposable. They tell you, D for the cause, and you will be remembered. But remembered by whom and for how long? Heroes of yesterday are forgotten today. The ideologies they served crumble, mutate, vanish. Empires, fogs, burn, slogans fade, and yet, generation after generation, loyal fools line up to die, thinking their sacrifice has meaning. Meaning? No, it has utility. You are fuel for the fire. You keep the machine running. And when the fire burns out, your ashes are swept aside. Loyalty to ideologies is particularly poisonous because it feels righteous. Betraying a person makes you guilty. Betraying an organization makes you ungrateful. But betraying an ideology, that makes you a monster, a heretic, a traitor. The punishment is harsher, the shame heavier, because the ideology claims to be larger than life itself. They don't just chain your actions, they chain your morality. They program you to feel guilt at the mere thought of disobedience. This is the highest form of control, when the prison bars exist not outside you, but inside your mind. They call it conscience, they call it loyalty. but it is nothing more than programming. And the truly terrifying part, most people never question it. They live and die chained to ideas they never chose, inherited shackles polished by tradition. Take a step back, though, and watch the game play out. Ideologies are tools of the powerful. Religion builds kingdoms. Nationalism fuels wars. Political parties exploit the masses while their leaders drink champagne behind closed doors. Movements demand loyalty, not because they need you free, but because they need you bound. Bound to their slogans, their stories, their battles. If you stop chanting, they lose power. So they train you to chant louder. But look closely, and you'll notice a pattern. The most feared individuals in history are not those who stayed loyal to ideologies. They are those who betrayed them. Heretics, rebels, revolutionaries, apostates. These are the names remembered, not because they bowed, but because they broke away. They tore down the sacred banners, spat on the sacred slogans, and carved new paths. They were hated in their time, yes, but feared forever after. Loyalty makes you invisible. Betrayal makes you unforgettable. Ask yourself, when was the last time an ideology truly served you? Did it make you freer? Or did it demand sacrifice after sacrifice, promising paradise later while starving you now? Did it elevate you, or did it keep you small, useful, silent? Did it give you power, or did it use you as fuel for someone else's power? The answer is clear if you dare to face it. Loyalty to ideologies kills success because it drains the very thing success demands: adaptability. Success requires evolution, reinvention, the ability to discard what no longer works. Ideologies demand the opposite: rigidity, faith, obedience to tradition. Success thrives on questioning. Ideologies thrive on silencing questions. Success loves uncertainty. Ideologies worship certainty. To be loyal to an ideology is to stab your own growth in the heart. And oh, how they will punish you for leaving. They will call you disloyal, unfaithful, traitorous. Good. Wear it proudly. Betrayal of an ideology is not sin, it is liberation. The ones who break away are always painted as villains at first. But history has a strange habit: yesterday's villain becomes tomorrow's visionary. Every ideology you worship now exists only because someone before you betrayed the last one. You think loyalty makes you noble. No, loyalty makes you a cog in someone else's dream. Nobility lies in betrayal, in tearing down the false gods, in walking away from the slogans, in daring to build something new instead of feeding something old. The ideologies don't want you to know this. That's why they praise loyalty as the highest virtue. That's why they build monuments to the faithful and burn the names of the disloyal. But look closer. The faithful vanish, the disloyal echo forever. So here is your task: betray the banners, betray the slogans, betray the gods that demand your chains. Stand alone, yes. Be hated, yes, but be free. For the loyal servant of ideology dies forgotten, but the betrayer rewrites the world. This is the third betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty to ideologies. Betray the myths that demand your silence. Betray the prison that wears the mask of morality, and when you do, you will feel the one thing ideology fears most: freedom. Because once you are free of ideology, you are free of the greatest leash humanity has ever invented. And once that leash is gone, there is no stage you cannot own, no chain you cannot break, no success you cannot claim. Ah, how the past, that sweet, rotten perfume everyone loves to bathe in. People clutch their memories like sacred relics, wrap themselves in nostalgia like a moth-eaten coat, and call it tradition. They say, respect your roots, honor your past, stay true to where you came from. How touching, how tragic, because loyalty to the past is nothing but loyalty to a ghost. And ghosts don't guide you forward, they drag you back into their graves. The past is dead. Yet you worship it. You build shrines to your childhood, your hometown, your good old days. You replay the same stories, the same songs, the same victories until they are brittle as ash. You pledge loyalty to what no longer exists. Why? Because the past feels safe, familiar, predictable, and the human mind would rather clutch a corpse than step into the unknown. Loyalty to the past shows up in so many costumes. Tradition, heritage, old identities, even failures wrapped in guilt. You tell yourself, I can't change now, it would dishonor who I was. Dishonor, please. Who you were is gone, buried, dust, and yet you kneel at the grave, swearing fealty to a ghost that can no longer answer you. Think of it: loyalty to childhood dreams that no longer fit. loyalty to family traditions that chain you to mediocrity, loyalty to an identity you outgrew years ago. You cling to your younger self as though betraying them is the worst crime imaginable. But betrayal of the past is not a crime, it is survival. Imagine if the caterpillar swore loyalty to its cocoon. Would it ever learn to fly? And oh, how society adores this trap. They'll brand you ungrateful if you dare to outgrow your beginnings, arrogant if you refuse to stay small, disloyal if you step beyond the boundaries they drew around you long ago. They want you shackled to who you were, because then they can predict who you'll be. But you weren't born to be predictable. You were born to be dangerous. The past whispers lies. It says, stay loyal to me and you'll stay safe. Safe. No. You'll stay stagnant. You'll stay ordinary. The past doesn't protect you. It sedates you. It lulls you with nostalgia while the future passes by. You cannot step into greatness while your feet are cemented in memory. Do you know why loyalty to the past kills success? Because success demands reinvention. Success requires you to betray yesterday for the sake of tomorrow. Every giant who ever rose had to betray their roots, their habits, their old selves. They had to look at the person they once were and say, thank you, but goodbye. The loyal ones, they stayed behind, polishing the bones of their history, waiting for a future that never came. The cruel truth: your past doesn't care about you. It doesn't cheer for you. It doesn't follow you into the future. It sits where it is, frozen, laughing at your devotion. You give it worship, and it gives you nothing except chains, except limits, except the slow suffocation of potential. Look at the tragedies born of loyalty to the past. Nations fighting endless wars to avenge old wounds. Families repeating generational curses because that's how it's always been. Individuals wasting decades chasing childhood dreams that were never theirs to begin with. Loyalty to the past does not build, it decays. And yet betrayal of the past terrifies people. Why? Because it feels like betrayal of themselves. They think, if I leave my past behind, who am I? Ah, but that's the magic. You are free to be anyone. Loyalty to the past answers the question of identity with chains. Betrayal answers it with wings. Do you want to terrify people? Outgrow them. Break the mold they remember. Betray the version of you they are comfortable with. They'll gasp. They'll gossip. They'll call you unrecognizable. Perfect. That's the point. Let them worship their memories. You were never born to be someone else's nostalgia. The past is a weight, and loyalty is the rope that ties it to your ankles. Cut the rope, and you rise. Keep it, and you drown in yesterday's ocean. The past will whisper that you owe it everything. You don't. You owe it nothing but acknowledgement. You lived it. That's enough. You do not owe your life to memories. You owe your life to yourself. Here is the fourth betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty to the past. Betray the nostalgia that rots your ambition. Betray the traditions that chain your growth. Betray the old self who cannot survive where you are going. Thank them, bury them, and walk away. Because the world does not remember those who stayed loyal to yesterday. It remembers those who betrayed it, shattered it, and built tomorrow instead. Failure. Ah, the faithful companion of dreamers. Everyone meets it. Everyone tastes it. Most run from it. Some learn from it. But the truly tragic, they marry it. They stay loyal to failure like it's a lifelong partner. They wear it as a badge. They cradle it like a wounded pet. They pledge never to abandon it because leaving would mean admitting they wasted time. And so they stay chained. You've seen it, haven't you? The gambler feeding coins into a machine that never pays. The business owner doubling down on a sinking idea. The lover staying in a relationship long after the love is dead. Why? Loyalty. That poisonous whisper. I've already invested too much to walk away now. Ah yes, the sunk cost fallacy. A disease dressed up as devotion. You tell yourself, I can't quit now. I've put in years, I've put in blood, I've put in soul. But the years are gone. The blood is spilled. The soul is drained. Loyalty won't bring them back. It will only bury the rest. Here's the dirty secret: loyalty to failure is just pride in disguise. You don't want to admit you chose wrong, so you keep choosing wrong again, until wrong consumes you. You don't want the world to laugh at your mistakes, so you keep feeding them until you vanish inside them. And when it's over, when the dust clears, what do you have? Nothing but the hollow applause of your own stubbornness. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is a teacher. But loyalty turns the teacher into a warden. You stop learning. You stop adapting. You worship the failure instead of escaping it. You start saying, this is just who I am. This is just my life. No, that's not life. That's a death sentence written in excuses. Think of the ones who rise. They don't stay loyal to failure. They betray it. They cut their losses. They burn the broken ship before it drags them under. They walk away even if it costs them pride, even if it earns them ridicule. And while the loyal drown in the wreckage, the betrayers are already building something new. Failure kills success only when you chain yourself to it. And oh, how people will encourage you to stay chained. They'll call it perseverance. They'll call it grit. They'll say, don't give up, keep trying, loyalty pays off. Lies, half-truths. Perseverance is not loyalty to failure. It is loyalty to progress. If your path is dead, no amount of loyalty will resurrect it. But betrayal clears the way. The cruel trick is how loyalty disguises itself as virtue. People admire the struggler who never gives up. They write songs about the underdog who stays true. But look closely. Most underdogs die under the weight of their own loyalty. Their stories aren't told because there's no glory in being crushed by your own pride. For every one success story born of persistence, there are thousands of silent graves built by loyalty to failure. You want to terrify people. Quit when they expect you to stay. Walk away from the sinking ship while the loyal ones sink singing hymns to hope. Betray the failure before it betrays you. Let them call you weak. Let them call you disloyal. When you build something greater, they'll call you genius. And let's not forget, failure seduces with nostalgia. Remember how much you dreamed. Remember how hard you worked. Don't give up now. It appeals to your loyalty to the past, your fear of betrayal, your hunger for redemption. But redemption is not earned by clinging. It's earned by releasing. Loyalty to failure is not courage, it's cowardice. Too afraid to face the shame of quitting, you chain yourself to endless misery. Break it, betray it, smile as you do. Say, thank you, failure, for the lesson, but I am not loyal to you. I am loyal to growth, because loyalty to failure does not make you noble. It makes you pathetic. It makes you predictable. And predictable creatures never rise. The bold betray their failures, leave them behind, and step into new risks. They fail again. Yes, but each time they betray the old, they evolve into something sharper, stronger, freer. This is the fifth betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty to failure. Betray the sinking ship before it drags you down. Betray the pride that demands you keep wasting life to prove a point. Because success is not born from loyalty to failure. It is born from betrayal of it. The world doesn't remember those who clung to broken dreams. It remembers those who dared to abandon them, who built new ones, who betrayed the corpse of failure and rose from its grave. Aha, success, the sweetest poison of them all. At first, it feels like a reward, a crown, a throne. You claw your way through blood and glass, and finally, you taste it, victory. Applause, recognition, you think you've won. But here's the joke, my friend, success is just another trap, and the most dangerous kind, because unlike failure, it doesn't sting, it sedates. Loyalty to success is the silent killer. When you succeed once, the world praises you. They shower you with admiration, trophies, medals, titles, and you clutch those shiny little trinkets like holy relics. You polish them. You build your identity around them. You start to think, this is who I am, this is enough, and that right there is where the grave begins. Because the moment you become loyal to success, you stop evolving. You freeze in the shadow of yesterday's victory. You cling to what worked before, terrified to risk losing it. You replay your old wins again and again like a broken record. And while you're busy worshiping yesterday, tomorrow passes you by. The cruelest truth, success is a liar. It whispers, you've made it, you can rest now, you've arrived. But success isn't permanent, it rots, it expires. The applause fades, the trophies gather dust, the throne is stolen by someone hungrier. Loyalty to success blinds you to that decay. You think you're still relevant while the world moves on. And then one day you wake up forgotten. You've seen it before. The athlete who clings to old glory, long after the body has betrayed them. The artist who repeats the same work, desperate to recreate their hit. the business owner who refuses to change, because this is how we became successful, and all of them eventually crumble because loyalty to old success makes them deaf to the demands of the future. Success should be fuel, not a shrine, but loyalty turns it into a religion. You kneel before your past victories, worshiping them instead of betraying them. And betrayal is the key, my dear. To rise higher, you must betray yesterday's success. You must kill your darlings, burn your trophies, abandon the throne before it collapses beneath you. The loyal cling to their crowns. The fearless throw them away to build bigger ones. Do you know why people become prisoners of their own success? Fear. Fear of loss. Fear of irrelevance. Fear of becoming nothing again. They cling to their achievements because they think without them, they are empty. They forget that the very thing that made them successful was risk, betrayal of the old. But once they succeed, they stop risking. They become loyal to comfort. And comfort is the slowest death. Loyalty to success is not just personal, it's cultural. Societies build monuments to past victories, obsess over golden ages, idolize old heroes. Nations rot clinging to their glorious past, refusing to adapt to the present. Civilizations crumble not from failure, but from loyalty to their former greatness. Yesterday's empire becomes today's ruin, all because it worshipped its own shadow. And the same is true for you. Stay loyal to your past victories, and you will become your own ruin. People will remember you not as great, but as someone who couldn't let go. You'll be the has-been, the relic, the museum piece they point to and say, he was something once. And is that what you want? To be remembered for yesterday? To be embalmed in nostalgia while the world belongs to someone else? Do you want to terrify them, betray your own success, walk away from your victories before they rot? Leave the throne while they still worship you and build a new one higher up. Reinvent yourself so completely that yesterday's crown looks like a toy. That's what the powerful do. That's what the feared do. They refuse to stay loyal to their past greatness. They betray it again and again until their very name becomes synonymous with reinvention. Here lies the paradox the world tells you loyalty to success is wise. They say, protect what you've built. Don't risk it. Don't change. But wisdom is just cowardice in costume. Success does not belong to the cautious. It belongs to the reckless, the restless, the traitors of yesterday. And so here is the sixth betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty to success. Betray the golden cage of your own victories. Betray the applause, the trophies, the crowns. Thank them, then discard them. Because true success is not reaching the top once. True success is climbing, falling, reinventing, and rising again and again until they cannot pin you down to a single crown, a single throne, a single era. Loyalty to success will kill you softly. Betrayal of success will keep you alive. Now we come to the final trick, the master illusion, the deadliest of all leashes. Not loyalty to people, not loyalty to organizations, not loyalty to ideologies, the past failure, or even success. No, this is loyalty to loyalty itself, a virtue worshipped for its own sake, a chain so polished, so praised, so sacred that no one dares to question it. Until now, they've told you since childhood, loyalty is everything. They didn't even bother to explain why, because they didn't have to. It was never about truth, it was about training. They wanted you to kneel at the altar of loyalty without ever asking who built it. They knew if they convinced you that loyalty itself was sacred, they could use it to bind you to anything. A person, a cause, a job, an idea. It doesn't matter. The leash was already around your neck, and oh, how you obey. You stay in relationships that rot you. You stay in jobs that drain you. You stay in tribes, churches, parties, traditions. Not because they deserve you, but because leaving would make you disloyal. You don't serve people or principles. You serve the idea of loyalty itself. You worship the leash. Do you see the absurdity? Imagine a man chained in a dungeon, praising the chain for keeping him honorable. That is you, when you praise loyalty as an absolute virtue. Chains are not noble, chains are chains, but the world has painted them gold and you applaud your own captivity. Loyalty itself is the ultimate con because it turns obedience into morality. Once you believe loyalty is always good, betrayal becomes always bad. And once betrayal is evil, you are trapped. They don't need to guard you anymore. You guard yourself. You become your own jailer, punishing yourself with guilt for even thinking of breaking free. Brilliant, isn't it? But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. Betrayal is not evil. Betrayal is evolution. Every step forward in history was betrayal of what came before. Every revolution was betrayal of a king. Every discovery was betrayal of an old belief. Every reinvention was betrayal of a past self. Without betrayal, there is no progress. Without betrayal, there's only stagnation dressed as virtue, and loyalty itself. It kills more dreams than failure ever could. Failure at least teaches you something. Loyalty to loyalty blinds you completely. You never leave the sinking ship, because leaving would be disloyal. You never question the crooked leader, because questioning would be disloyal. You never outgrow the small circle, the small town, the small life, because outgrowing would be disloyal. Loyalty to loyalty itself is death by devotion. Do you know why this trick works so well? Because humans crave belonging. You want to be part of something larger. You want to be seen as good, trustworthy, reliable, and loyalty gives you that illusion. They applaud you for staying, for serving, for never questioning. They call you noble while they sharpen the knives behind your back, and you smile proud of your chains. But the powerful, the feared, they do not worship loyalty, they use it. They demand it from others while reserving the right to betray whenever it serves them. That is why they rise while you stay stuck. You were taught to bow to loyalty itself. They were taught to wield it as a weapon. Do you want to terrify people? Betray loyalty itself. Walk away not only from unworthy people, jobs, ideologies, but from the very concept that loyalty is always good. Replace it with something higher: loyalty to yourself, loyalty to your vision, your growth, your freedom. Let them call you faithless, treacherous, selfish. Let them spit the word disloyal like poison. You will smile because you know the truth. Their loyalty is a cage. Yours is a crown. This final betrayal is the hardest because it's not about breaking one chain. It's about breaking the belief in chains altogether. Once you shatter the illusion of loyalty as a virtue, you cannot be controlled. They cannot bind you to a cause by shouting traitor. They cannot guilt you into obedience by whispering disloyal. You will see those words for what they really are: desperate tricks to keep you leashed. And here lies the greatest irony. Once you stop worshiping loyalty, you finally learn its proper place. Loyalty has value only when it is chosen freely, when it serves you, when it does not strangle growth. Anything else, garbage, chains, control. When you betray loyalty itself, you reclaim the power to decide when loyalty is deserved, and very, very few will ever deserve it. This is the seventh betrayal you must embrace. Betray loyalty itself. Betray the golden leash they wrapped around your neck since childhood. Betray the lie that staying is always noble and leaving is always shameful. Because only when you betray loyalty itself do you finally step into your full power. And once you do, oh, they will fear you, because they cannot control someone who does not bow to loyalty. They cannot manipulate someone who does not flinch at the word traitor. They cannot stop someone who chooses freedom over chains, evolution over stagnation, betrayal over obedience. Loyalty to loyalty itself is the final coffin. Betray it and you don't just escape, you rise. You don't just succeed, you terrify, because you will never again kneel at their altar. You will never again wear their collar. You will never again mistake chains for virtue. And in that betrayal, you become untouchable. So, we've reached the end. The lights are dim, the crowd is restless, and the stage is mine. Ours. You've listened, you've followed, step by step, betrayal by betrayal. And now you stand on the edge of something dangerous, something liberating, something they will never forgive you for. Let's take a bow, shall we? 7 acts in this play of unchaining. 7 knives to cut through the lies they wrapped around your throat. First, the betrayal of people. Those smiling parasites who drank your time, your energy, your devotion, all in the name of friendship, family, duty. You thought loyalty made you noble, but noble is just another word for predictable prey. Then the betrayal of organizations. Yes, the corporations, the families, the machines that fed on your bones while calling you a hero. You stayed loyal, they stayed hungry. You were a cog, until the day you betrayed them. And suddenly you were more. Then came ideologies, flags, anthems, gods, slogans, lies dressed as eternity. You gave your life to them. They gave you nothing but chains. Betray them, and the world will call you heretic, traitor, monster. But history will call you free. And the past, that corpse you kissed goodnight over and over. Traditions, nostalgia, old selves that no longer fit. You called it loyalty. I call it necrophilia. The past is dead. Betray it or lie down in its grave. Then failure. Sweet, seductive failure. You clung to it because you were too proud to admit defeat. You called it perseverance, grit, determination. But in truth, it was cowardice. Loyalty to failure is suicide by stubbornness. Betray it, and suddenly the path clears. Then success. Oh, delicious success. The most beautiful prison of them all. You clung to yesterday's victories, polishing your trophies while your future starved. You thought loyalty to success would keep you on the throne. But thrones rot. Betray success itself, and you'll build empires instead of shrines. And finally, the last and cruelest. Loyalty to loyalty, the golden chain. The leash they convinced you was a halo. You worshipped loyalty for its own sake, thinking it made you virtuous. But it made you weak. They didn't care what you were loyal to, as long as you bowed. Break that illusion, betray loyalty itself, and suddenly you are untouchable. 7 betrayals, 7 deaths of illusion, 7 births of freedom. Do you see it now? Do you feel the weight slipping from your shoulders? That isn't guilt. That isn't shame. That is the ghost of your old chains crumbling into dust. And what comes next? Ah, that is the sweetest part. They will hate you. Oh yes, they will spit your name, call you traitor, faithless, selfish, dangerous. Perfect, let them. Because beneath the insults lies fear. They fear what they cannot bind. They fear what they cannot predict. They fear what they cannot control. And when they fear you, you own them. You think loyalty makes people love you. It doesn't. It makes them use you. But betrayal makes them respect you. Even if they hate you, they may despise you, but they will never forget you. The loyal dog dies anonymous. The wolf who broke free becomes legend. So here's your choice, standing here at the curtain call. Stay loyal and they will cheer politely as you march into your grave. Or betray, and they will scream, curse, weep, tremble. But they will never, ever ignore you again. Which ending do you want for your play? A quiet bow, forgotten before the curtain even falls. Or a shattering finale, where the crowd leaves whispering your name, too shaken to sleep. Ah, but I already know your answer. You wouldn't still be here if you hadn't felt the itch. The itch to break, to burn, to betray. You're ready, I can hear it in your silence. So go, break the leash, betray the chains, betray the people, the organizations, the ideologies, the past, the failures, the successes, the very concept of loyalty itself. Step into the wild, the dangerous, the free. And when they ask who you are, when they whisper your name with fear in their voices, you can smile because you'll know you are not loyal. You are not bound. You are not theirs. You are free. And that, my dear, is the most terrifying thing of all.